Welcome to another Motors.co.uk review. This time we're going to be looking at one of the most popular cars in its class, the Vauxhall Insignia. We'll be seeing whether or not it's worth considering if you're in the market for a spacious and reliable family car. Don't forget to click like if you enjoy this video and subscribe if you want to see more reviews just like this one. For a number of years there were two distinct camps when it came to large family hatchbacks. There was the Ford Mondeo and the Vauxhall Vectra, which later turned into the Insignia. Yes, other offerings were there like the Volkswagen Passat and the Mazda 6, but they never really sold in the same dizzying numbers. The reason for the Insignia's popularity was the extremely good value for money. These were cars that were built in huge numbers and offered with very attractive deals. But since then there's been a new crop of competition that's been tempting people away from the Griffin badge. That's meant that Vauxhall has had to up its game with the latest generation model. Now it's been badged Insignia Grand Sport to add a bit more appeal, and to improve things further it's been given additional styling touches as well as a greater amount of standard equipment and technology. But has Vauxhall done enough to keep the Insignia at the top of the sales charts? The interior of the Insignia has been well thought out. You get an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system which gives quick access to all the usual functions like DAB, Bluetooth and satellite navigation. On the steering wheel you get a host of controls as you would find in any other car in this class. Overall it's a pleasant place to be no matter how long the journey. It's very nice, but it doesn't feel particularly special. Equipment levels are pretty good. Even base spec models get Bluetooth connectivity, 17-inch wheels and electronic climate control. That means that even if you are looking at a lower specification car, you're not going to feel like you've been shortchanged. As one of the biggest cars in its class, the Insignia is able to offer a fair amount of boot and cabin space. It's slightly longer than a Volkswagen Passat, but it's still shorter than a Ford Mondeo. That said, 3 people will find it easy to get comfortable in the back with ample legroom. However, they may struggle when it comes to headroom because of that sloping roofline. In standard hatch form, the Insignia offers 490 litres of boot space with all rear seats folded up. Put them down and this space grows to 1,450 litres. Those seats split 40-20-42, which allows for a more flexible storage solution. There's a good variety of engines available with the Insignia, meaning there's a power plant tailored for pretty much everyone. At the bottom of the range there's a 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol engine which pumps out just short of 140 brake horsepower. Now in a car of this size it does feel a little underpowered. Drive it carefully though and it should return an average fuel economy of around 50 miles per gallon. If you want a bit more power though, there's a 163 brake horsepower version which is better suited to life on the motorway, and that should return similar levels of economy. Sitting at the top of the range there's a 2 litre petrol which pumps out 278 brake horsepower. Now it certainly feels rapid, but it doesn't feel as engaging or as involving to drive as some of its rivals. As for diesels, there's a 1.6 with either 108 or 134 brake horsepower, or a 2 litre with 168 or 207 brake horsepower. The lower powered 1.6 emits just 116 grams per kilometre of CO2 and fuel economy of 64.2 miles per gallon. So if you're looking to save money at the pumps, this is well worth considering. Even if you up the power to the 134 brake horsepower version, you still get an average fuel economy in the low 60s and emissions of 121 grams per kilometre of CO2. One area that Vauxhall really wanted to improve with the Insignia was the ride and handling, and the work they've put in has really made a difference. Now the ride is smooth at low speeds, but if you opt for the FlexiRide adaptive dampers, this improves things further. This sets the car up depending on whether you're cruising down a motorway or driving a little bit harder down a country road. Really though, this is a car that's designed around comfort rather than sportiness. The steering is responsive though, but when you do push it hard, there is a little bit of body lean through the corners. One thing you will appreciate though, if you spend a lot of time in one, is that it is extremely refined in here. There are a number of reasons why the Insignia could present an attractive proposition. It's one of the more spacious family hatchbacks in its class, it's surprisingly involving to drive for such a big car, and overall it offers excellent value for money. There have been some question marks raised over the build quality though, and some of the older versions have had electrical issues. Overall though, the competition in this class has really strengthened, and cars like the Volkswagen Passat and Peugeot 508 offer more tech and better build quality and are well worth considering before you make your decision.